Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Raider Sports Radio. It's Marcus Shultze here with Hudson Ridley. Today is our NBA podcast for the week. We're going to be going over All-Star Weekend as well as some current NBA standings and where the Denver Nuggets are heading in the next few days. Let's just get right into it, Hudson. All-Star Weekend.
I mean, absolutely crazy. Format, I love the format. I don't understand how the point total is set, but you know what? As long as it's that exciting, I don't care how they set the point total. I love that point total idea because it makes it exciting down the stretch, and you can't just dribble out the clock. And because you can't dribble out the clock, it creates so much excitement down the stretch because you still need to score if you're that team. You're not totally in the clear. So, I mean, I absolutely love the format. What's your take on it, Marcus?
Well, I watched a little bit of a podcast that Kobe Bryant was in, kind of explaining his and Chris Paul's thoughts about how the All-Star Game should be, and they were focused on how they want it to be. While still entertaining, they want it to be competitive. And, I mean, this new format completed that goal perfectly. They were all out there having fun while still a little bit of emotion out there. They wanted to win. I loved it. I don't really understand it fully. It's a little confusing. But I loved it.
Yeah, the numbers for that one can be a little confusing, but I think I personally really like the format. I hope they continue it, and maybe in 20, 30 years we could see this in the actual NBA 20, 30 years. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. Look out for that. The biggest news of the weekend, however, the biggest controversy of the weekend, the dunk contest. Marcus, who do you think should have won that?
I know you might not agree with me, Hudson, but I think Aaron Gordon should have won. He dunked over 7'6" Taco Fall. He didn't fully clear him. You're right. Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, he ended up on the other side of him.
Well, that helps.
By going over. I think his dunk that was the oop that was thrown
off the side of the backboard where he did the 360.
I mean, that was one of the most beautiful dunks I've ever watched. I think that was the dunk of the dunk contest, and I think that although we had some amazing performances for all four contenders, I think that Aaron Gordon got snubbed and he should have won.
Here's why I think it should have been a tie. Even the judges, I read a report that the judges had decided on a tie. This was per comment, one of the judges on the panel, that they had decided on a tie, but somebody messed up their score. Now, the internet has said that person was Dwayne Wade. Now, it would make sense. All night long, we heard it in the skills challenge. Oh, I'm going for Bam Adebayo. Why? Because he's from the Heat. You saw it in the three-point contest. I'm going for Duncan Robinson. Why? Because he's on the Heat.
Then a little bit of bias there.
Maybe not just a little. A ton of bias.
Maybe a little.
A ton of bias.
Yeah,
I'd
agree.
Dwayne Wade was for sure the person who messed that up. I think it should have been a tie, and here's why. Aaron Gordon copied one of the dunks from Derrick Jones Jr. right after he had done it. He just did the same dunk again, which is not impressive. You have to come up with your own dunk. It should have docked him points for that, but nevertheless, they gave him a 50 as well. On the other side, too, Derrick Jones Jr., he completed each one of his dunk attempts on the first attempt once he got into that final round battle with Aaron Gordon. He completed it on the first attempt every time. And the third reason is Aaron Gordon cleared about 7 feet of Taco Fall. Maybe 7 feet 1 of Taco Fall. The other 5 inches smacked him right in the back of the head. There's probably a mark left on the back of Taco Fall's shiny, bald head right on the back of that. That was where Aaron Gordon sat on his head. That is why he shouldn't have won, because he barely cleared him. I mean, he didn't clear him.
Here's what I have to say, though. I think that there was an instance like that with one of Derrick Jones Jr.'s dunks as well. His dunk from the free throw line, he stepped over too much. I mean, if his foot was at least on the line, then I would give him a little more credit. But he definitely took a pace over the free throw line. I don't
You
know.
could
It was still
tell
a
he
good dunk,
mistimed it.
but
Yeah.
similar to the Taco Fall dunk, I think that both were not as good as they could have been.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think, especially they're tired, I think Derek Jones Jr. could have definitely dunked from behind the free throw line. He took an extra unnecessary step, and you could see it on his face, too.
Mm-hmm.
Once he landed, he went behind the basket, and you could see it on his face. Like, he was not...
a little upset.
He was upset. He was not happy with it. So I think that both of them were a little disappointed in their final dunks, but nevertheless, in my opinion, I know you think Aaron Gordon should have won. It should have been a tie. Same thing with Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon back in, 2016, 2017?
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago, 2017. Back then it should have been as well a tie. Aaron Gordon should have won one dunk contest trophy that's taking half of one and half of the other, merging them together and making one. I think he definitely should have one. Moving on, Buddy Hield, 3-point contest champion. I mean, that it wasn't super exciting.
I don't necessarily enjoy watching the 3-point contest.
Some people say they
watched it.
like the 3-point contest better than the dunk contest. I don't know how. Like, the dunk contest, even when you see Pat Connaughton, for God's sakes, like it's still enjoyable. I still think its dunks weren't great, but I still think they were okay. You know, I would rather see that than see Devontae Graham airball a 3 on his first rack. Like, I like Devontae Graham, but that's just disappointing. So I think not a big fan of it, but
I think the 3-point contest is usually disappointing unless you have super big names. Like, they had Devin Booker, which is a big name enough people watched it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no Steph Curry in there. There's no Klay Thompson in there.
Yeah.
There's no, like, incredible 3-point shooters. Like, even if Steph Curry was in it, I would love to watch it.
He's got the highest career percentage of active NBA players right now over his brother Steph. He just passed him about a week ago.
Yeah, he's playing incredible.
Yeah.
For a backup guard. I mean, he's a great shooter. But we're gonna move on. Real quick. The Rising Stars Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I think that it was cool that the USA. I like that format where the USA plays
the jerseys
the
were
team.
super cool too. The purple and the orange.
Yes.
I did appreciate those. Zion and Ja, their matchup together. That's really cool. I mean, if we see that in the future, them teaming up, that'd be just insanely cool. That's something that I personally would love to see. I mean, both of their dunking ability. Their lobs weren't that impressive to each other, but you know, it's a fun, friendly game. That's what we want to see. Who's the MVP? Was it
the Rising Stars?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know his name.
Was it?
I know that he threw down.
I think it was
nasty
Miles
dunk.
Bridges.
It was Miles Bridges. Yeah.
Miles Bridges threw down a couple of nice dunks. But besides that, I mean, all Rising Stars game, it is what it's going to be. You saw Luka messing around.
Nothing's just going to compare to the All-Star game and the dunk contest.
Exactly, especially this year. The Rising Stars game did not have the same format as the All-Star game where they play to a point total. So I thought that was a little interesting.
Moving on. Quick congrats to Bam Adebayo for his winning the skills challenge. I mean, kind of another event.
I like the skills challenge. Actually.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it's entertaining.
I think it's creative, like the way that it's all set up and stuff. But I don't think enough people watch it. I didn't watch it. I wish I did.
I did, and the picks that I had structured flipped them on its head. People that I thought were going to win didn't win. People who I thought weren't going to win won. I mean, it's crazy. Bam Adebayo this year had hit 1 3-pointer. All year. 1 for 11 from 3. 1 3-pointer. Somehow he gets in the skills challenge. I mean, it's absolutely insane.
It was awesome.
He hit 3 threes. He's only hit 1 in the NBA this season. He hit 3 in the skills challenge alone. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't the chosen winners by professional betting, but I mean, big congrats to him. He did well. I mean, he went out there and he made his 3, and he made his 3 over a 3-point shooter.
Exactly.
So, was it Sabonis? No.
No, because that would have been big man versus big man. Personally, I thought Jason Tatum was going to win. I was convinced that he'd go back-to-back. Jason Tatum was eliminated in the first round. I also thought Spencer Dinwiddie might win. Nope, eliminated in the first round. He was the favorite, gone in the first round.
Shout out to CU.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. I mean, making it to the end though. Domantas Sabonis, like what?
Yeah.
Domantas Sabonis?
No one knows how the final two got there, but they did.
No
it was
idea.
Entertaining.
Not only do I have no idea how Domantas Sabonis got to the skills challenge, no idea how he got to the All-Star game either.
Yeah, underdog versus underdog, but still, it was fun to look over highlights. I bet it was fun to watch for you. Another thing about Bam Adebayo is that he is looking like the head of the most improved.
Yeah, most improved player. And Pascal Siakam won that last year, so that'd be. I mean, like, I think here's my leaderboard for the most improved player right now. You got to put Bam at number 1. Because last year he was like, oh, solid production. You may or may, if you're a big basketball fan, you know the name. If you're not, probably not. Then that switches a little bit, and it goes to Bam Adebayo, All-Star, does good in the All-Star game, starting to build himself up with that name Bam, maybe becoming a household name, and you can see that in a couple of years. Got to put him at first. At second, I'm putting Devontae Graham because he came out of nowhere this year, and now he's averaging a good point total. Some made cases for him being an all-star. I mean, he's a great three-point shooter, an amazing passer. I'd put him at 2. And at 3, Brandon Ingram. I mean, Brandon Ingram was never a slouch in this league. He was always good, but he took that next step to become even better. That's the leaderboard, I would say, but I'd still put Bam as that number 1.
Yeah, I would personally put what was the third person you mentioned? Brandon Ingram. I'd put him in second. Mm-hmm. He's given the Pelicans enough room to maybe push for a playoff push, maybe depending on how Zion can do.
They have the easiest schedule left in the league.
Speaking of playoff pushes, we're gonna move into standings right now. Western Conference looking similar to how it has been in the last couple weeks. The Los Angeles Lakers are still first in the West. And second are the Denver Nuggets, 4 games back, followed by the Clippers, Jazz, Rockets, Thunder, Mavericks, Grizzlies, etc. That race for 8th is still...
It's heated. It's very heated.
I mean, right now it looks like the Grizzlies have about a 4-game lead on the Trailblazers and the Spurs. Mm-hmm. But
anything can happen in 4 games.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to watch out if Dame time gets hot. I mean, you never know. They could go on a run. The Grizzlies could slip, and Trailblazers could move into that 8th spot. The way I see it shaking out right now, I see the Lakers finishing in 1st. I see the Clippers finishing in 2nd. Because Kawhi, I mean, you saw him in that All-Star game. I think he now believes that it may be the playoffs. Like, he may have that little trigger in his brain, and playoff Kawhi, don't want to mess with playoff Kawhi. I'd say Nuggets finish 3rd, Rockets finish 4th. The Jazz, I think, slipped down to 5th. I'd say the Mavericks finish 6th. The Thunder finish 7th. And that 8th seed, I'm going to still give that to the Grizzlies. I think they can hold on and beat out the Trailblazers.
I hope so. I would love to see Ja Morant in action in the playoffs. An unexperienced playoff team, of course, but that'd still be fun to watch. I mean, we saw what Ja Morant did in March Madness last year.
That was crazy.
I mean, when it comes down to it, Ja Morant is an incredible player in situations that are single elimination. So I think that Ja Morant and the Grizzlies will end up 8th. And I mean, of course, they'll get smacked by the Lakers. But
true. Well, you never know. They did keep it close with the Lakers earlier this year. They might have beaten the Lakers. I'm not sure. I'm probably wrong, but in my head, I think they might have beaten the Lakers. Switching over to the other side of the NBA, we're going to the East now, traveling east. The standings as follows. The Bucks at 1st, Raptors in 2nd, Celtics in a comfy 3rd, then followed by the Heat, 76ers, Pacers, Nets, Magic, and you have the Wizards on the outside looking in. A team that I do want to point out right now that people may think, oh, maybe they're not that bad. The Cavs are in turmoil. They have Andre Drummond now, pretty good. 1 year left on his deal. You think he's staying in Cleveland? I don't know. Definitely. I mean, maybe a little biased. I'm not a huge Cleveland guy. I don't know anyone who is.
Is anybody?
Andre Drummond
Okay, I
has
have
been.
some family.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
still,
Andre Drummond, he's been traded from Detroit, which you're like, to Cleveland, which you're also like, he's gonna go to like Miami or something. He's done. He's done with that.
And looking at the top of the list, the Bucks are in front of the Raptors by 6.5 games. They are obviously still in a commanding lead. I picture them finishing first. I also picture them in the finals with that Eastern Conference Championship game, maybe with the Raptors, maybe with the Celtics, but I think that the Bucks will be able to pull it away now that they have a little bit of experience on their belt.
I see this a little differently. Here is my take on this. In the Western Conference, I see the 1 seed Lakers and the 2 seed Clippers getting to the Western Conference Finals. The Clippers are a perfect matchup, a fire and ice matchup to the Lakers. The ice of the Clippers, the ice in the veins of Kawhi Leonard will overwhelm that new Showtime Lakers team. I'd say the Clippers get to the finals from the West. In the East, though, a little bit surprising. Everybody's thinking, oh, Bucks. Oh, the Bucks are going to make... No. Okay, and here is why. All right, the Raptors, without Kawhi Leonard, haven't skipped a beat. They're at the same place they were last year. They haven't moved at all. I mean, they're playing good basketball. Pascal Siakam stepped up. Fred VanVleet stepped up. Kyle Lowry, I mean, he's done Kyle Lowry things. I guess that's just solid. I mean, all of those guys are playing where they need to play, and I think the Bucks' inability to win in the playoffs will be shown off in the Eastern Conference Finals when they're taken down by the Toronto Raptors. So my finals,
That's okay.
instead of Lakers-Bucks, where that seems where everyone's going, I'm going Clippers-Raptors.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
pretty good take. I would agree with your logic, but in the end, I think of course it's just gonna be Lakers Bucks. We're gonna move on. For our last couple minutes here, we're gonna talk about our hometown team, the Denver Nuggets. I personally am a big Nuggets fan.
Sadly, I'm a Bulls
friend
fan.
Hudson here is a
But
Bulls
I can relate with you Nuggets fans. I wish I was a Nuggets fan. I would have a solid team.
Okay, so since we've last talked about the Denver Nuggets in the NBA, I went to a Nuggets game. I got to witness some of their new players in action. First of all, the Nuggets rookie PJ Dozier, he's coming out and he stepped up for the IR-filled Nuggets. New players coming in for the Nuggets include Jordan McRae, Keita Bates-Diop, and Noah Vonleh. And I haven't seen Noah Vonleh play much, but McRae and Bates-Diop have been putting in some work for the Nuggets, helping them with these last few games against the Spurs. I don't know who they played most recently. Oh, the Lakers, yeah. They lost in overtime. Which we don't have to talk about.
You don't want to talk about that?
No, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
It's a good game.
I watched every second of it. Little bummed about the results, of course, but I mean, the Nuggets are down a sixth man with Mason Plumlee. Nuggets are down a starter with Will Barton. Yeah. So we don't really know what the Nuggets can do against the Lakers. The Nuggets have played the Lakers and beat the Lakers when LeBron is out. The Lakers have beat the Nuggets with Will Barton out. I don't know. It's a close matchup,
I wouldn't put LeBron equal to Will Barton.
Yeah,
I think they would.
Well.
I think they can have the same game impact. I think that the Nuggets, I mean, they are injury-ridden, but they play good regular season team basketball. And if you're a Nuggets fan, of course you know that. I mean, the regular season team basketball that the Nuggets play is, enough. It'll do enough. I mean, they good ball movement. That's what you really want to see from the Nuggets, but can they continue it in the playoffs is the number one question. Last year, they couldn't continue that style of play much in the playoffs. They look nervous. Marcus, do you think they can continue that style of play and do well in this year's playoffs?
Well, I think that this year they have a little bit of experience under their belt. I think that Nikola Jokic, as well as some people that are going to come back, like Michael Porter Jr. and Will Barton, will make big differences. I think that they're going to probably be a 2-round out. I want them to be a 3-round out. I really, really do. I want them to win it all, of course.
I don't think they'll make it.
But I think the Nuggets would be lucky to get to the Western Conference Finals. However, I'm rooting for them, of course, as I always do. Yeah, that's it for the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
Not much more to talk about. Let's see what they can do once they get these injuries back on.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, that is going to do it this week for this episode of NBA Raider Sports Radio Podcast. Thank you for listening in. We'll be on a more regular schedule. We couldn't line these up, so we haven't seen you in a while, but we will be back for more later. Thank you from Hudson Ridley, Marcus Shultze. Have a nice day.
Just letting you guys know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We might be seeing some MLB podcasts.
Oh,
coming up soon. We got a little bit to talk
Astros
about.
cheating scandal. Look out for that. We may put
as well as
that.
a little bit of Rockies news. Maybe in the future, if the Avalanche get deep into the playoffs, which they might.
They might, yeah. Maybe
we
broadening
might
our
see-
range. Yeah.
We might see a little bit more from the MLB and NHL. But for the NBA podcast today, thank you guys for joining. We'll see you next week.